And that's what I want to talk about next. This is one of the biggest insights I've had from working with clients over these years, particularly these coaching clients, these one-on-one clients, because I see this a lot. And it is this. And this guy I was just talking about is actually an example of this, because he didn't point out that 10 out of 10 to me. I had to see it on his chart. I run a weekly report every week on the Diamond members, and I could see how they're progressing in various areas. And I'm looking down here, and there's a 10 out of 10 erection in a sexual situation. And I'm like, what is this all about? Then he tells me about it. Well, I'm comfortable with her, so, it was no big deal. Did you take any ED drugs? No. 10 out of 10, and he was maxed out on all the sexual keys. And he didn't even mention it. I had to find it in his chart. And this is the point I'm trying to get to. He went immediately to the things he needs to work on instead of celebrating the wins. And here's the big problem with that. Because I'm going to show you. It's called the winner's effect. And let me bring up this chart. Now, they've done this multiple times. This is just one example, and this actually comes from the first time they did this. So let me first of all explain what the winner's effect is and what you're looking at here. So what they did is they took saliva tests from men that went to a sporting event. In this case, it was the World Cup soccer match. Okay, and they took their saliva tests before and after the game, and they looked at their testosterone levels. Right? So as soon as the game was over, they retook those levels again to see how the testosterone was. And you can see from this chart, the guys whose team won, their testosterone went up significantly. Okay, about 30%. And equally as important, the guys whose team lost, their testosterone tanked even more than 30%. Okay, and look, those guys on average had a higher testosterone going in before the game started than the guys whose team won, right? But that winner's effect, when you feel like you're winning or what you're attached to, in case they identify with that sports team, it's like them winning when that team won and their testosterone just shot up. And the ones who lost, testosterone went down. Okay, so this is why this is so important, especially when it comes to all kinds of reasons for sexual performance, but also particularly performance anxiety, is when you're not even looking at those wins and you're going immediately to, okay, I need to fix this, I need to fix that, I need to fix that. Well, when you're missing this, first of all, you're tanking your testosterone. You're immediately going to the losses, which is tanking your testosterone. This has been shown over and over again in multiple studies. This always plays out. Anytime you feel like you're losing or you're focusing on the losses, your testosterone is going to go down. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't focus on the things that you want to change, the so-called losses, right? You do. But first, this is the important thing. If you just remember this, first, you want to celebrate the wins. You should always celebrate the wins first because it boosts your testosterone level immediately. And also, when you start to look at the so-called losses, you're looking at it through that winning lens. You realize you've already won, right? So you're already filled with that winning feeling. So when you look at your losses or things that you still want to fix, it doesn't take nearly the hit on your system. It doesn't have nearly the negative effect on your sexual performance or how you feel as a man, right? If you put the wins first, you remember nothing but that. Because if you do that, it really, like I was saying before, taking action decreases anxiety. Doing what scares you allows you to grow as a man and have amazing experiences in your life so you can have great stories to tell. Okay, when you do that, anytime you go into your anxiety and do the thing that scares you and just self-soothe yourself, you have automatically won. That's the important thing to keep in mind. It doesn't matter what happens. The most embarrassing stuff can happen when that happens, right? And it doesn't matter. because you've already won. You realize it just by facing your fear and doing the thing that scares you, you've already won. So it doesn't matter what the outcome is. You might have prefer you didn't embarrass yourself or whatever it is, but the important thing is that you realize no matter what, you've won. And just that realization will take your anxiety levels way down. It's a self, when I was talking about soothing your anxiety, this is one of the most effective ways to do it. It's just realize by you doing the thing that's scaring you, you're winning. And that feeling of winning takes your anxiety down. Okay? I'm going to give another example. I just got back from this trip from California, and I did all these things that I had never done before. Okay, I purposely, including going to Orange County, which I've never been to before, but I did all these things that I had never done. And some of them were embarrassing. Like I did this pole dancing class, right, where I was the only guy in the class, right? 7 other women, and there was me. You know, I wasn't moving nearly as limberly or as sexy as these other women were, but I was having a good time. And they were having a good time because I was smiling and having a good time. And the reason I was having a good time is because I knew by me just being in there and doing that in front of all these people, which I would have normally never have done in the past, right? Way too embarrassing. The fact that I was doing that, facing my fears and just having a good time, I was winning. I was winning. And afterwards, I had thought about some things. Oh man, I should have done this. This would have been better if I would have done this, or, you know, but it was from this winning lens that I was looking at these things. So it wasn't stressing me out. It was just that I wanted to, in the future, if I was in a similar situation, I wanted to do a better job at those things. So I was analyzing it. I was analyzing the losses and, making adjustments for next time. But none of that stressed me out because all of it was within the context of what I won. It was a huge win for me because I did something that really scared me and did it anyway. Okay. And that's the concept I want you to get in your mind. There's different ways to soothe anxiety. I'm going to give you some other techniques too. But this is the most powerful, I believe, is just realizing that just by doing what's making you anxious, you're winning. And that winning feeling takes your anxiety down. Because if you remember from another class, I don't have a slide on this, anytime testosterone goes up, which this does, in men, this is not true in women, but in men, anytime testosterone goes up, cortisol comes down, stress comes down, anxiety comes down. Okay? It's beautifully simple, powerful, powerful technique. Okay? So I hope that all makes sense. What I want to talk about next is the importance of communicating with your woman if there's an erection failure. When it comes to getting throbbing, stage 4, rock hard on command, and lasting as long as you want in the bedroom, both permanently and naturally at any age, the first step is understanding exactly what is going on under the hood of your manhood. Because if a man doesn't understand the basic mechanics of how his manhood works, how can he expect anything he tries to work? He just ends up throwing punches in the dark and then is frustrated when everything he tries stops working and makes his hardness and lasting power worse over time, conveniently leading him to more and more extreme treatments that further destroy his manhood and his ability to perform in the bedroom. So if this is a priority for you and you would like to finally get off of Big Pharma's hamster wheel, keeping you trapped, broken, and desperate, then you're going to want to set aside about 75 minutes to watch this free training I made just for you that's going to allow you to finally understand the ecosystem behind your manhood and bedroom performance. Like fixing a leaky pipe, you can't just drywall over it or you'll end up with a house full of black mold. You have to fix the source of the leaky pipe if you want permanent results that will last a lifetime. So I put a link in the description to claim a 24-hour access pass to my new masterclass that will take you by the hand and show you exactly what's going on under the hood.
so you can finally understand exactly what methodologies, frameworks, and systems that our guys are using right now to conquer their bedroom performance permanently and naturally at any age. So go ahead and click the link in the description, and I'll see you inside the masterclass. Xander Holt, signing off.